Okay, big game with a big news. Pakistan are all but eliminated from the semi-final race. Straight up we are telling it to you. Pakistan are tata bye-bye, eliminated from the semi-final race because England have opted to bat.
And you could see, by the way, the smile on Josh Butler's face when he opted to bat, because he's a sly dog. He knew. I know he was saying, and in fact, when Nasser Hasan was asking him at the toss, any reasons for that? He's smiling and saying, no, there's a little bit of dryness. You know, we'd like to get first use of the pitch. Joss, please.
Joss.
Please. And the funnier part was, you could see it even on Nasser, because he knew. Everyone knows the equation at this point.
Yes.
It's just one big inside joke that Pakistan are all but out. Because again, if they get England all out for 100 runs,
they have to chase it in 5 overs.
Less than that?
Yeah, about 4.4 overs.
3.4 overs.
3.4 overs.
That's 22 balls. That means they need to do what no individual batter has done in history and get a century in 22 balls.
Yep.
Not happening.
So, Pakistan's only realistic chance was if they had opted to bat first. So, that means they needed to score 400 and bundle England out for 113. That means 287 run victory margin was assured. But with now Pakistan chasing, if England score 300, they have to chase the target down in 6.1 overs. 6.1 overs, that means 37 balls. Even if you hit 37 sixes,
You're not getting there.
you're not getting there.
You're not getting close.
Yes. So what is this equation all about? I just don't understand. 6.1 overs unless one bowler has a ghastly 77 run over, which has happened in first class cricket. Bert Vance once conceded 77 runs in a particular. And now there is this viral meme going about. Okay, it's an urban legend. Okay, it's not for real. But do you know what is the most runs scored of one ball? 286.
No way that's real.
It's an urban legend, but there's a lot of things circulating around it, because once what happened, one batter hit the ball into a tree. Now they tried everything to get the ball back from the tree. They tried even chopping the tree off. By the time it happened and they retrieved the ball, the batsman had run 6 kilometers, meaning 286 runs were scored of one ball. But that is an urban legend.
That's
But it is circulating today on social media.
Obviously.
A lot. So, Pakistan all but eliminated from the semi-final race.
I mean, unless they actually choose this, that's another viral suggestion that's been doing the rounds that, Pakistan's players just have to bolt the England dressing room door.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do that today, get them all timed out, they can get one run in 6 overs.
Yes, they can. So, if they bowl, Pakistan bowl England out for 50, they need to chase it down 1.4 overs.
Basically, Pakistan, the Qudrat ka Nizam, I think ran out in that 2022 final. And how ironic that it has to come to an end once again against England.
Against England, exactly. Now, ideally, Bangladesh should have been exiting from Kolkata because, look, it's only 45 minutes away. Now, Pakistan will have to go the long way, go to Dubai and then go to Karachi. And in that sense, it's going to be your one-way ticket to Karachi is all but confirmed. I am sorry, because you are not chasing whatever total. And this England cricket team, I'm sorry, they may be in the pits. They may have not defended their World Cup campaign in a big way. But what happened here?
Yeah, I think
Our screen went turtle at this point in time. And that's why...
Anyhow, let's leave that aside.
Let's leave that aside. Yep. So, the situation that we have now is Pakistan are not bowling England out for 20 or 30. Please let us. England are not that bad.
Yeah, they're not that bad. I mean, I would not give them hopes of that equation against a team like Netherlands or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka. Forget about England, whatever form they may be in. Not happening.
Exactly. Not happening at all. So let's look at the team changes. Ideally, the England have made no changes. If you look at it, Johnny Bairstow, David Malan, maybe this is his final ODI. Because David Malan did say, like, maybe at the age of 36, he's 36 after all. Any prospects of Malan playing ODIs or white ball cricket for England? And maybe this is last.
I mean,
for
he
England
might.
also.
They might keep him around for the next year's World Cup, T20 World Cup, because that's not that far. But yeah, I think his ODI career, this is probably the end of it. Then you've got Joe Root, Ben Stokes, another person potentially playing his last ODI again.
Do you see Joe Root coming back in the ODI setup then after such a miserable run that he's enjoyed?
I think they'll give him some time, but he's on borrowed time. Let's put it that way. Of course, then you've got Harry Brook, Joss Butler, number 6, Moeen Ali, Chris
Final
Wokes.
game for him also, Moeen Ali.
Quite possible. In fact, Moeen Ali, I remember he had said during some press conference, he said that, I'll have an honest talk with the selectors, with Rob Key, with the captain. He's saying because I understand totally that they'd want to do a bit of a reset, and the first ones to go will be the more experienced players. So he said that for me, I'm done with Test cricket. If they feel that I'm not going to be someone who can contribute to the future of white ball cricket, and I understand it, then he'll probably just become a T20 league freelancer of sorts.
Yep,
Will play the 100, the T20 leagues. A very useful player there.
Yeah.
Chris Wokes at number 8, another player whose long-term future in this format might not be
Willie,
too
final
assured.
game.
Willie, final game for sure. He's retiring. Gus Atkinson, someone who they would hope is one of those future prospects. Adil Rashid, another one.
Yep. So essentially, half you may say Joe Root,
Stokes.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Half this team
6.
practically is retiring after this, or is pretty much on their last legs. That I think tells you everything you need to know about where it is that probably it went wrong for England. Too many core members getting old at the same time.
Yep.
Too many core members.
Yep. England, unfortunately, their World Cup is over. Now they'll be hoping that they don't lose by a big margin. Champions Trophy qualification is very, very important.
Or if they seal the win, then it doesn't really matter. Then
Exactly.
If they get that win even by 1 run, then they're 100% guaranteed. Even if they lose, if it's not by a heavy margin, they should be okay.
They should be okay because I think the only 3 teams which are there, by the way, Bangladesh is putting up a good show against Australia.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They might go past 300. So that's why Bangladesh might be a bit out of danger in that case because if they lose, maybe by not such a big margin, maybe their Champions Trophy qualification sealed.
Aren't they higher than Sri Lanka right now on the table?
But just
about.
8th position, Sri Lanka are 9th, minus 0.3 is the difference between these two.
So that's not much.
That's not much. So that is why if you look at the Pakistan lineup, Abdullah Shafiq, Fakhar Zaman, he could have been one of the key players had Pakistan opted to bat first. But now he will have to chase for them, which actually Pakistan did pretty well in the previous game. So Abdullah Shafiq, Fakhar Zaman, Babar Azam, maybe his last game as captain.
Oh yeah.
With all the upheaval that's going on in the PCB, this is the final game of Babar Azam. I'm pretty sure about
As a captain?
As a captain, that's his last. Mohammad Rizwan, maybe future captain in the making. Saud Shakil, another impressive player. Iftikhar Ahmed, Agha Salman, Shadab Khan is in. That's the only change that we have got. No Hassan Ali in the team. Then you've got Shaheen Afridi, then the mighty, impressive Mohammad Wasim Jr. And then you've got Haris Rauf, who, by the way, is on top of the charts also. He is nearing Rohit Sharma for the most number of runs conceded. So, if you add all that up, he may have even surpassed Rohit Sharma and David Warner, maybe. So, Haris Rauf at this point in time, he's got plenty of question marks on his career. But if Pakistan are in this situation, no Kudrat Kanzame, they have only themselves to blame. A shoddy performance against India, a poor show against Australia, that one where they got that 1 wicket loss, that DRS call, maybe they were unlucky, yes. But apart from that, they have only themselves to blame for the performances.
I mean, look at it this way. If you're playing every single team in the World Cup, and that is pretty much the format, you can afford a few slip-ups, but not too many. The problem was that their slip-ups were, their good moments were few and far between. Beyond that, it was just one slip-up after another.
Yes.
They just didn't get enough results against the so-called big teams. If you don't get those, if you consider the big matches, say the Sena countries and India, as being those 5 matches which would be really challenging. Of those, you needed maybe 3 wins. You got, none if I'm not mistaken? You got New Zealand.
Only New Zealand. But apart from that, you didn't defeat the C countries.
You didn't defeat South Africa. You didn't defeat India. You didn't beat Australia. And now potentially you could be losing to England as well.
Yes.
You don't know.
So that's why Pakistan have only themselves to blame because they lost to even Afghanistan also. By the way.
Right. That was the other thing. The games that they were expected to win, even those they didn't. Yes, they beat Sri Lanka. Yes, they beat Netherlands. But that's it.
That's it. So that's why Pakistan, they didn't make it to the semi-final. Now in this entire, if you look at 2 decades that you're playing ODI cricket, Pakistan's only reached the semi-final once.
In 2011.
2003 out in the league stages, 2007 out in the league stages, 11 semi-final, 15 out in the quarterfinals, 19 league stages, 23 out in the league stages. So it does not represent a very, very good situation for Pakistan. And if reports are to be believed, they are not playing any ODI series for the next 13 months after this. No ODI series after 13 months. Although the series in Australia, maybe they are trying for a couple of ODIs, but I don't think that's happening. It's a 3-test series, and I think they'll play 3 T20Is.
See, you have to remember, even if they want to play ODIs, would be willing at this point. The turnover time from now, the end of this World Cup, to the next World Cup, which is a T20 World Cup, is not that big.
Yes.
And don't forget, for 2 months of that, you're going to be having IPL, in which time no one is going to be playing Pakistan anyway.
Yep.
So I do kind of understand, but I think, for 13 months is still a lot, because once the T20 World Cup is done, then again the focus moves back to the Champions Trophy. So I don't understand.
See, that's the reports you're getting, 13 months. Maybe they will slot in some series in between. So that's why, at least now from December till about July, they are not playing World Cup, ODIs.
So which I understand. That I think not many teams will be playing ODIs. Even India, if my memory serves me right,
3 T20Is and 5.
They're playing 3 ODIs, but only against South Africa. That's it.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you've got a T20I series against Australia, South Africa, Afghanistan,
And you've got 5 tests against England.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm talking about T20Is. After that,
IPL.
those 3 T20I series, and you've got the big IPL. So, yeah, that's it. That's your T20 World Cup preparation.
Yep. So that is why Pakistan, I am sorry, you are not. They have only themselves to blame. And the off-field chaos that the PCB decided to unleash, it only reflects that a board, once its head does not know what to do,
the body isn't going to do much.
The body isn't going to do much.
And actually, if you look at with Pakistan, you're talking about the performances. Since 2007, they kind of rebounded in 2011 because they at least made it to the semis. But after that, it's been regression only. 2011 in the semis, 2015 out in the quarters, 2019 out on the league stages by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
And this time around, out in the league stages by, not the skin of their teeth, they're quite frankly out by a convincing margin. Especially if they lose today, then it means you only got 6 points.
Yeah.
3 wins, you were never going to be in contention.
And it's a damning indictment that Afghanistan will finish over you. Now that is something that Pakistan will. That's why the question was there. Are they the second best team in Asia, Afghanistan? I would tend to agree, yes. But again, condition specific.
Yeah, that's my only caveat, let's say.
Yeah. So maybe at this point, I would like to say perhaps I would say, let Afghanistan play in the West Indies. If the West Indies they do well, then you can see real progress at this time.
No, I do think they'll do well. If you're talking about West Indies, I do think they'll do well in that World Cup. Because again, you don't know what kind, you might get a few sticky pitches here or there in West Indies as well. Yeah. And even in the USA, I don't think you're going to get flat decks. If you remember, even in the MLC, not every game was a big scoring game.
Yes.
So you might get a few tricky decks, and especially when you consider the fact that one of the stadiums that is going to be playing, it's essentially a pop-up stadium. So that pitch is an enigma to everyone, whatever the hell that pitch will be.
And I think India, Pakistan are playing that.
Yes, correct. It's in
New York.
New York, correct.
Oh my goodness.
So you have a pop-up pitch. Again, as I said, that pitch is going to be an enigma. You don't know. What if it spins? Then in that case, you might see Afghanistan actually do pretty good. And you have to remember, next year's T20 World Cup, there are a lot of teams.
Yeah.
It's a 20-team tournament for crying out loud.
That's why T20s are your only avenue wherein it will get recognition, major events. The Olympics, for example,
28.
Los Angeles 28, the T20I format is going to be one of the key formats.
For men and women, remember?
Yes, so that's why Asian Games already you saw how the T20 format did well there.
Commonwealth Games also it was implemented, lest we forget. So actually, you understand why it is now that more and more, let's say, not just boards, but even the ICC is focusing more on T20s. They've realized that this is the format that could get them that world recognition and that world popularity they so crave.
Yes.
That is the format, because otherwise, no disrespect to Test cricket. I love Test cricket, but it's never going to be a mass sport. Same with ODIs, it's just too long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
Exactly. So that's why Pakistan was in. But if you look at Pakistan's record against England in the last
phenomenal.
2 decades, yeah. They have only lost once in 3 decades to them.
Yeah, in fact, I think the last 6 matches that have been completed, they've won like 5 in World Cups. So
exactly.
And if you go by head to head, it's I think 10 games, of which Pakistan have won 5, England have won 4, and there's been one more result. So actually, if you look at it, it's very close. And in recent times, Pakistan have had the edge.
Yes.
That being said, I think this match is even Stevens. I'm not calling any favorites, because with Pakistan, You know they can be mercurial. Their performance depends on which side of the bed they choose to get out of. England, yeah, they got that win against Netherlands, but even then, plenty of holes still. Nowhere near a solid team and a team in clear need of a rebuild. That being said, England have a lot more to play for than Pakistan in this game because they know a win guarantees them Champions Trophy qualification. Pakistan, they're pretty much assured because they're already the hosts anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So that's why Pakistan, a tragicomic World Cup for them.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a very, very tragicomic World Cup for them, right from the PCB off-field situation. Then you got your bowlers. I mean, I would have persisted with Mohammad Wasim Jr. right from the very beginning along with Shahid.
Yeah, I was never a fan of this move of, Hassan Ali, experience. Nonsense. You dropped him for a reason.
Yeah.
Then you didn't look at his experience.
Exactly.
So, and Wasim Jr., the other thing was that Wasim Jr. gives you, in many ways, obviously not as consistent, but it's the closest like for like you have for Naseem Shah.
Exactly.
So if you weren't playing Naseem, you had to play Wasim. Naseem out, Wasim in. It was that simple. You're playing him too late. Your bowling at least then would have been fine. Yes, your batting can more often than not border on the tragicomic, but at least your bowling would have been sorted.
Exactly.
And then if he failed, at least you could have said, Chalo, listen, look, the logic was that we gave this player is the most like for like. Because if, for instance, if you have Shadab who's not firing, at least you had an Osama Mir. That's like for like.
Yeah, but Osama Mir also is
kind of got,
So, Pakistan's spinners and their bowlers have been the prime reason why this has happened.
I mean, even their batters haven't really lit the stage on fire, let's put it that way.
See, your batting collapsed against India, 8 for 36. That you should remember for the simple fact that your batting and your bowling never ever stepped up to the plate in that sense. That's why Babar Azam in particular. But if you look at what his opposite compatriot is undergoing, he'll feel he's in heaven at this point in time. Because Josh Butler's had a miserable World Cup.
The difference is that at least in the case of a Josh Butler, he knows there's a clear think tank to go back to. Whatever else you can say about England cricket in recent times, they've been very united in the direction they want to go. The think tank, whether that be for white ball cricket, whether that be for red ball cricket, is pretty clear on what they want to do. There's a good system in place. Has there ever been a good system in place in the PCB?
No,
never. That's the point. So I do feel a little sympathy for Babar. Sure, he hasn't helped his own case. He's not gotten runs. His captaincy calls have often been pretty debatable. But at least with Josh, tomorrow if they even choose to remove him, he can still retire and say that, listen, boss, I'm still a 2019 World Cup winner. I also captained my nation to a T20 World Cup. Babar, unfortunately, has that one Kudrat Ka Nizam run. That's the extent of it.
That's it. 2021 also, their Kudrat Ka Nizam ended in the semi-final by Matthew Wade.
That brutal hitting that was.
Yeah. He and Marcus Stoinis together ensured Pakistan, as usual, when it comes to knockout stages, haven't beaten Australia ever since 1987.
Correct.
87 lost in the semi-final, 99 in the final. Then you look at all the other T20 matches also that you look at. Pakistan don't beat Australia in semi-finals or in the knockouts that often.
Exactly. So it's never that easy. And even today, I think if we're talking about this match, if let's assume that what Butler said, and where's the match being played against in Kolkata, and he said that it does look like the pitch will dry out a bit, so we want to get first use. Cast your mind back to the India-South Africa game. That is pretty much how it played out. And it was not an easy track to bat on.
And remember, chasing in Kolkata has been pretty tough, except for the Bangladesh-Pakistan game.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's been an absolute pain chasing at the Eden Gardens.
Exactly. So, predictions. Let's look at what it is. Pakistan, anyway, out. They only got pride to play for. What do you think?
See, if it is in fact a dry pitch, or it is a pitch that will dry out, I think England can get to about 285 and defend it.
285 and defend it. I would say 270. And Pakistan are not winning it at all. Because see, 270 if they make, they have to make it in about 4 overs, 3.4 overs.
I think unfortunately, and this is one of those things because it's such a extreme that they needed mathematically, I think they would have been deflated just at the toss.
Yeah, they are deflated at the toss. And anyway, heading into all the planning that Babar Azam wanted, all the situation that they had,
all gone.
England have chose to bat. That's it, gone, eliminated.
And this is very. It reminds me of when in the semi-final, T20 World Cup semi-final against India, when Josh Butler later revealed to the broadcasters in England, he said that we were not sure what we wanted to do initially, but eventually we were okay chasing because we know that India's big strength is chasing. So we were fine putting them into bat first.
Yep.
Similarly here, knowing the situations, knowing that, Pakistan would have wanted to bat first, and if he has the power, why would he give them that chance? Why give them even the slight sniff? You know this way that even if you get out for 250, 260 on a drying track, you might be able to defend that.
Yep.
But more importantly, Pakistan are demoralized because why? Their semi-chance is gone.
Gone. With just one coin toss, their semi-final chances are gone.
Exactly.
So,
That's how, and that's the fact is, you can say that, oh, if Babar had won the toss, but then why find yourself in that sort of a situation? Don't.
that itself is an indication that gone. It's
Never.
all
You
over.
should never want to be relying on other factors. Always keep your semi-final or your knockout stage situation in your control. That's what good teams do, and Pakistan sadly not a good team.
Not a good team at all, and that's why they are, after this game, boarding a ticket back to Karachi in that sense. So England versus Pakistan should have been the marquee clash of the ICC ODI World Cup.
Could have been.
Ideal environment.
Could have been, but both teams, for very different reasons, this
Chose
is
not to do it.
Yeah, and this is as dead rubbers happen.
Yep. So that's the situation we have here. Let's see. I have backed England to win. Shane's also backed England to win.
We'll join you guys back soon enough though, because in the other match we are approaching the bid innings mark, and Bangladesh have actually racked up a half decent total.
Not a half decent. I think it's a pretty good
Yeah.
total. And that's why I think Australia might have a match on their hands.
Oh, yeah?
Which is good practice for them, considering that they play South Africa. And remember, South Africa, if they bat first, they can pose that kind of a big total. It's chasing, that's the problem. So we'll be joining you in the next 10-15 minutes. So join us back for that from me and Shane. It's bye-bye. See you soon.